Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. This video is going to be a very special one because I'm going to unpack all the things that I bought in my last month's trip to London. I'm super excited to film this video because I promised to myself that I will unwrap all of these things on camera, which means that I can't use any of them at the moment before I make this video. I have a whole bag, mostly it's books, but I have quite a few art supplies here too. Two main reasons why I am so excited about this art haul. The first one, the majority of things that I've bought are not available where I live at the moment, so they are quite special for me. Also, as I will mention this when we start opening everything, most of the supplies are not new for me. They are either refills or replacements for my most used art supplies, which means they are my favorite. The second reason is the fact that I haven't been buying that many art supplies recently in general. So I have quite a few supplies in my studio and honestly I don't need to buy anything at the moment. But if you are an artist yourself, then you might probably know that sometimes artists buy art supplies not because they need them, but just for fun, because they want to buy something. I haven't been doing this either, surprisingly. I think in the last 6 or even more months, I only bought a couple of paints to replace my old ones, some paper and maybe some other essential supplies. So this is my first massive art haul in at least the last 6 months, but I think even longer. So let's see what I have here. I will start with art supplies because I think that will be more interesting for everyone, and then quickly show you the books that I bought. Most of them are also art related. I think I will start with the bigger things. I bought, or rather I ordered, these 2 sketchbooks on Jackson's Art right before I went to London, because I wasn't sure if they have them in the stores. Probably everyone knows about Jackson's Art online store and they know that it has a massive amount of art supplies. You can buy almost everything there. But if you go to the physical stores, you will find that they don't sell everything in the physical stores. If you find something on their website and you decide to go to one of their physical stores in London, it doesn't mean that it's going to be there. So that's why I made an order on their website, picked store delivery. So the first day, or maybe the second day, I went to pick up my order because I actually ordered 3 of these sketchbooks, but I wanted to use one of these in my London trip. So I wanted to sketch in this sketchbook, not only take them home with me. And that's why I made this order in advance in order to be able to use one of these sketchbooks. This is Stillman and Birn beta series. This paper is great. I've never seen any other cellulose paper that would be as good as the paper in these sketchbooks. This paper is cold pressed, like that's what they say. If we compare it to cotton paper, I would say it's more like hot pressed. This is my most favorite cellulose sketchbook and just in general my favorite watercolor sketchbook. I also have the same in this size and I have the same in the smaller size, and I wanted to order the bigger ones as well, but they were out of stock. They are just amazing. I think I will definitely order them when they will be back in stock. So that was from Jackson's Art. Here I also have a bag from London Graphic Centre. They don't have a huge selection for watercolor artists. They do have some nice graphic art supplies, and I also do graphics sometimes. I like going to the store, plus it's in the very center of the city, so it's in Covent Garden. Even if you are just like wandering around the town, it's very convenient to go to this store. I bought there this brush. I will be talking about this brush later because there will be like a box where I have a lot more brushes, so I think maybe that I will talk about this brush later. But I bought these 3 pencils. They are the same. These are Japanese color pencils. These are by Tombow brand, and recently I started using color pencils in my sketchbook. I have some color pencils in my studio. When I just started drawing and painting, I was buying like everything. So from these times, 5 or 6 years ago, I have some color pencils, I have markers, I have pastels, like I have a lot of things. Now I mainly use watercolor, but I obviously still have all of these things. I didn't just throw them away. This summer I just thought I just want to do something simple, and I don't want to paint with watercolor because you have to have water, because you have to have some space in order to paint comfortably. And I just wanted to sketch in front of the TV. So I found my old Moleskine sketchbook and I thought I would like to try some color pencils. And I found like all of these sets. Now I keep my color pencils in this pencil case. These are the pencils that I use. So one of the sets that I used to have, it was this Tombow color pencil set. It's called like Color Encyclopedia or something. There were 30 colors, I think. I very randomly started drawing with these pencils. I didn't pick any colors myself, so I was just using what they have in these sets. Somehow, after maybe like 2 weeks of sketching with them, I came to the colors that I can call my color palette now. One of my most used pencils, the Indigo. I was so worried that I will run out of this pencil, so I even started looking for replacements. I bought a few pencils to replace, but they were not the same. And when I saw that in London Graphic Center they sell them open stock, so you don't have to buy a set, I decided that I'm definitely going to buy 3 of these pencils. And another thing I bought in London Graphic Center, this is Blackwing pencils. I don't know if you've ever heard of these pencils before. These are just usual graphite pencils, but they are very special because they are considered to be of a high quality. Plus they have a very interesting design. Like you can see that they have interesting eraser. It's replaceable. Every quarter they release a new set of special edition pencils. They dedicate them to something special. It can be like an artist, event, writer. It can be anything. Depending on the chosen theme, they will choose the design for the pencil, they will choose the color for the eraser, and so on. These limited edition pencils are this summer's edition, like they were released in June 2022, and they are dedicated to the golden ratio. I was very excited about it because it's very art related. I would say, like, it's not only art related, but it's very art related. Plus my sister was also excited about these pencils, and she said, like, if you ever gonna buy a set, give me 1 pencil. So I decided to grab this. Let me quickly show it to you. They come in a very nice box. There are 12 pencils in each set. I've already given 1 away, so I have 11 here. They look really cool. You just have to admit that they look cool, even though they are way too expensive for a pencil. I'm obviously not going to use them for regular drawings. What I mean by regular drawings is that, like, I mean for watercolor, I usually do a pencil drawing first, so I'm not going to use them for this. I might just use them for writing or for sketching in my sketchbook, in my Moleskine sketchbook. This will go into my collection. I have other Blackwing pencils, including the limited edition ones. These are collectibles. Okay, I have some random little things lying around in this bag, so maybe I should mention them too. I have this Natural History Museum pencil. So I am a huge fan of this museum, and that was the only museum I managed to visit in London this time. I always try to grab something to remind me of this trip, of the visit to this museum or to any other museums, and this time I decided to grab a pencil because you always need a pencil, and it says Natural History Museum museum and it's made from recycled plastic, so I thought it was something exciting. I think I might be mistaken, but I think it's the first time I'm seeing these pencils in this museum, so I don't know yet how it performs, but even if it's not a good pencil, it will be just a souvenir. The next thing I have here is a watercolor paint, Lavender, by Michelo Mission Gold. I bought this paint in Great Art, and I bought it because I really like lavender by this particular brand. I'm running out of my current one. I have the same tube, but I'm running out of it. I decided to buy a replacement while I had an opportunity to do so. This is from Moleskine, as you can see. I'm a huge fan of Moleskine sketchbooks. This was something I also have never seen before. In London, they have several Moleskine stores, so it's not like you go to a stationery shop and you buy a Moleskine sketchbook there. You can do it too. I noticed that almost in every bookstore, in every stationery store, there are Moleskine sketchbooks available. And I noticed that now they sell these things. So what this is like a charm. A letter charm, I guess. And you can put this letter on the band of your sketchbook. So I can put this letter here. They have all the letters. They also have some symbols like stars, hearts, and something else. I think this is also something new. What else from Moleskine? I have two watercolor sketchbooks. I've never used Moleskine watercolor sketchbooks because I think their paper is not very good. It's weird me saying this now that I've bought these sketchbooks, but I thought it would be a really nice sketchbook to have if you want to sketch something very quickly and you don't have time to do a proper sketch in your normal sketchbook, in a large sketchbook. For example, you are traveling with your friends or you are traveling with your family and you know that they are not going to wait for you. You can have this very small sketchbook and sketch something very quickly. It's 200 GSM, 25% cotton. So to me, it's the worst paper you can have, a mix of cotton and cellulose paper. It's better to have either cotton or cellulose, not the mix. But we will see. I just like Moleskine. I like this size, so I thought that I will give it a try and see how it works. So I'm now at this point where I can pretty much use any paper. I'm just hoping that this paper will not be as disappointing, so I'm not going to use it. I decided to buy two just in case. If I don't like it, I'll just gift one of them maybe to my sister or to my niece who don't really care what paper they use. The next store, I've talked about London Graphic Centre, Moleskine store. The next one is going to be Jackson's. Again, I showed you the sketchbooks from Jackson's, but I haven't shown the rest of the things I bought at Jackson's Art. First of all, I want to mention that I also bought some Arches paper Imperial sheets. They are huge sheets. I'm not going to show you them. These are like Imperial 56 by 76 centimeters. They are lying on my floor right now. And I also have this box. I have a mix of things. There are things that I ordered online, and there are also things that I bought in one of their physical stores. Once again, most of these things are the replacements or refills for what I already have. Some of them will be new, I will explain. Let's start with these brushes. I have two of them. These are Pro Art synthetic brushes. Right now, this brush is one of my go-to brushes for painting cityscapes. I don't even remember where I got this brush in the first place. This is my current brush. It looks like this. It can still be used, it's okay. But I bought these two just in case because I can't buy these brushes where I live. And I really like it. But when I started painting cityscapes, I was experimenting a lot. And I found myself just randomly grabbing different brushes that I had in my brush case, and I liked it so much that now I use it all the time. Another replacement. This is Raphael Soft Aqua Squirrel Imitation Brush. Once again, I love this brush. I ordered this brush on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 years ago. I still have it. Once again, right now it's one of my favorite brushes. I use it all the time, especially for sketching architectural details. These two brushes that I promised to talk about when I showed them. These are Winsor & Newton Cotman one-stroke flat brushes. They are very small. I don't know if it's the smallest that they have, but they are quite small. And once again, this is one of my favorite and most used brushes. I think it's very surprising for some people because it's a flat brush, and some people, they don't know how to use flat brushes. Maybe they know, but they don't use them because it's not the most popular brush in watercolor. You mostly use round brushes. This is how my brush looks like now. I think it has a slightly different design, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same brush. I don't think I would be able to survive without this brush. It's excellent. It's good quality, it's great for watercolor, and it's great for the technique that I'm using. I was surprised to find that it's quite expensive because it's Cotman. It's a student line of Winsor & Newton. I thought it's going to be cheap, especially considering the fact that it's a rather small brush. But it was quite expensive. It was about £6, £6.50 per brush. I was a bit unpleasantly surprised. At first I bought just one, but then I thought, just in case, I'll buy another one. These are all the replacements for what I already have. And what I'm going to show you now, they are all new brushes that I've never used before. This is Leonard. I am a huge fan of Leonard brushes, and the one that I use all the time is this one. I don't remember the exact series of this brush, and it doesn't have it here anymore because it's so old. It has the same hair. And what I wanted to do was also buy a replacement, just in case. But when I came to the store, I found that they didn't have those anymore. It was the only store in London that was selling these brushes, and unfortunately they didn't have them anymore. What they had instead was this one. As far as I remember, it's almost like, it looks like it's the same series or very close to this one. And by the look of it, they are using the exact same hair for this brush. It's not the same brush because this is a quill brush and this is a regular brush, and it will affect the performance. I don't know, I just wanted to try, I guess. Since I was already in this store, I decided to buy it and see how it works. So maybe I will like it, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to replace this one because they are different. And I think the last brushes for today, something completely new and random that I've never tried before, so I have no idea if I will like it or not. These are Isabe. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I have been looking at these brushes for a really long time because of their design. Look at how cool they are. Here it looks amazing. I wanted to buy these brushes for a really long time, but I couldn't justify buying them because they're quite expensive. So now that I was, going on holiday and I was ordering all of these art supplies from Jackson's Art, I thought, why not? I ordered some of the cheaper ones, so these are synthetic. They look great, they feel great. They feel like luxury brushes. I so look forward to using them. They were not crazy expensive. I think maybe I spent about £15 on both of them, maybe even less. So what I ordered here? First of all, I ordered a regular, pretty much the most standard watercolor brush. Round brush, medium size. Size 8 is my go-to size, 6 or 8. I decided to go for number 8. They are handmade, apparently. Yes, they do feel like they are very special. The second one, I think you've already noticed that I use a lot of flat brushes in my work. That's why I decided to order a flat brush. To be honest, I was picking it blindly. I didn't know their sizes. I didn't do a lot of research, so I just randomly picked this brush. I knew that it's going to be a long hair brush. I will see how it's going to affect the performance. I hope that these brushes will find place in my art practice and I will use them frequently. Okay, so these were the brushes. Now I think I will switch onto the paints. I already showed you one. Now I'm going to show you this Daniel Smith half pans. I have a couple of Daniel Smith half pan sets. I have their ultimate mixing set, which has 15 half pans, and I have one or two 6-color sets. At the beginning of this year, I was using this set a lot. I'm not using it that much right now. With most of the colors, you have your standard palette, you have your standard set of colors that you are going to use every time, and you get used to them. And if you want to use something extra, you need to push yourself to use them. So this set is my extra set. I'm just currently not pushing myself to use it, but I'm going to keep using this set because it's great. There were 2 colors that I discovered because of this set, and I really love them, and I added them to my main palette. They were cerulean blue. I know it sounds weird because cerulean blue is not a special color, but still. I've never used it before this set. And gothite, or I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, it's brown ochre. The set contained 15 half pans. These ones are almost used up. I've been wanting to order refills for a really long time, but once again, because this is not my main watercolor set, this is like an additional set, I couldn't justify to myself ordering these from Jackson's Art, have to pay for the international delivery, have to pay for these half pans. They are quite expensive. Since I was in the store, I was at Jackson's Art, I saw them and I thought, like, I'm going to buy, like, I'm going to indulge. Also, cerulean blue, if you are using cerulean blue, you should know that you will always run out of this color very quickly because it has very low tinting strength. The final paints I have in this art haul are the core watercolor paints. If you've been following my Instagram for a while, you would know that I'm a huge fan of core paints. They are quite expensive and not easy to find, but they are also special. Once again, I'm not going to go into details about these paints. One of my most favorite colors by Core, it's ultramarine blue, because of its special qualities that it has. I have one tube. I'm almost out of this color. I think I used this tube in maybe like 3 or 4 months, and I was restraining myself from using this color because I was scared I'm going to run out of it. So I know that if I'm not restraining myself, I'm going to use it even more and more. I just wanted to be sure once again that I have enough of it. Unfortunately, they only had 2 tubes of ultramarine blue, and that was it. That's why I decided to pick French ultramarine blue to see how it compares to the regular ultramarine blue. I think it's not the same color, but since it's also ultramarine blue, I think it will have a lot of similar characteristics. It might not be the same exact color, but it will perform in a very similar way. I'm pretty sure about this, but I will see. So yes, I'm super happy that I managed to get this, and also excited to try this new one and see if I maybe like it even better. Okay, the last thing from Jackson's, once again, a mix of my online order and my visit to a physical store. These are Caran Luminance pencils. I've heard so much about these pencils. I hear people saying they are the best pencils on the market. First of all, because they are light fast, which means that they are not going to fade under the sunlight, like most pencils would do. So they are professional pencils. I've only recently got into using color pencils, maybe in August. I think it was in August. So I got into using color pencils. And as I mentioned previously, I didn't buy any color pencils. I was just using what I have because I didn't need any extra spendings on art supplies. Plus, I wasn't sure that I would even like it. I've never been a huge color pencils fan. It was more like an experiment. I really wasn't sure that I will keep using them. But actually, I really liked using color pencils. That's why you can see that I bought these expensive luminance pencils. Many people who use color pencils, they use these ones. They are, I guess, like Daniel Smith among watercolors, or like Copic markers among markers, something like that. I really want to try them. I wasn't going to invest into a huge collection. I just wanted to try them. I picked some random colors. I didn't do a huge research. I didn't compare the pencils, like I didn't compare the colors. I just randomly picked what I thought I would like, and these are the colors. You can see that they are mostly blue. Like blue is my favorite color. All shades of blue: Indian foam blue, cobalt blue, turquoise, some dark blues, grays, and brown pink, and one green, I think. So yeah, it's not a huge selection. I think there are just 8 pencils. 5 I ordered online and 3 I picked up at the physical store. But I'm really excited to try them. I'm afraid that I'm going to love them so much that I would want to buy more. I hope I will not want to buy a lot more pencils than that. That's it for Jackson's art. That's everything that I bought there this time. I think next time I'm going to order something from Jackson's Art will be when they have those large sketchbooks in stock. Because now I tend to work on larger formats, and I can't work on small sketchbooks anymore because it's not interesting for me. It doesn't suit my style anymore, unfortunately. So that's why I need larger sketchbooks. The last art-related supplies-related thing as you can see, it says choosing keeping, and that's the name of the store. It's not an art store, it's more like a stationery store that has some paints in it as well, like paints and paper. Last year I found a YouTube channel by Natasha Newton, who is an artist from the UK. She's great. I love her artworks and I love her YouTube videos. She frequently buys from the store and she does unboxing videos, and I watch them like 100 times. I know it sounds weird, but yes. And since then, I really wanted to visit it. When I knew I was going to London, I thought I have to visit this store. I studied their website, pretty much knew what I was going to buy. I will show you later what is the main reason I went to this store. We're just going to open it because I can chat like forever. Just look at this bird sticker, it's so pretty. I asked the shop assistant if they were selling those, and she said no. That's a shame. I feel really bad about doing this. I promised to explain why I really wanted to visit this store and what was the main reason for my visit. It's these paint sets. I don't know if you have ever heard about Kansai paints. These are, I think, Japanese paints that are something in the middle between watercolor and gouache paints. If you use a lot of water with them, they can be watercolor, and if you use less water and more pigment, they can be like gouache paints. To be honest, the paint itself wasn't the reason I was so excited about them. The reason was the set itself. So Choosing Keeping are doing theme sets based around different themes. They have sets dedicated to different seasons. I think they have something else. They have maybe like pastel colors, dark colors. But the most interesting sets, at least for me, were the decade sets. So they have several sets dedicated to different decades, starting from 1920s and finishing with 1980s. Basically, I really have no idea what's the story behind these sets, who picked the colors, if it was someone from Choosing Keeping or maybe it was done by a different company. I just don't know. I believe because it says Choosing Keeping on the box, I think they picked the colors themselves. There are 8 paints in each set. Basically, they picked 8 colors that would represent this decade in the best way. Obviously, I couldn't buy all of them because that would be crazy expensive, even though I would love to buy all of them. But the 2 sets I was most interested in, they were 1930s. Let me show you. Yeah, so it's called Choosing Keeping Japanese Retro Kansai. I just like earthy colors. I like browns, I like earth yellows, and they also have turquoise and the purple, and I also love turquoise and the purple. In terms of the colors, this was one of the most exciting for me. The second one was dedicated to 1980s. 2 reasons why I bought this set, and it was not a question if I'm going to buy this set or not. I was pretty sure that one of the sets I'm going to buy, it will be this one. The first reason, obviously, the colors themselves. So I love this pastel blue. These are, I think, all pastel colors, and I love pastel colors. I like this one, I like pastel pink. And the second reason is just I love 1980s. I love movies from the 80s, I like 80s music, I like interior decorations from 1980s. I also like the colors. I like neon, I believe. A lot of the things in 1980s were in neon colors. That's just my association that I have. I've obviously never lived in 1980s. I can do a swatching video of both of these sets. Maybe I will film a separate video swatching the colors. Another question is, you might be asking, what are you going to use it for? And I don't know. So I'm gonna be honest and say I have no idea what I'm going to use them for at the moment, because obviously these paints I would not be able to use them in my regular art practice, because I do cityscapes, I do sketches, and I use professional watercolor paints, traditional watercolor paints for this, because of its transparency. Transparency is really important, but because it's a mix between the gouache and watercolor, I will not be able to use them in my work. Plus, I know nothing about the characteristics of these paints. I don't know if they are light fast, I don't know what are the pigments. They don't give any information about them, which makes it unusable for professional watercolor painting, especially if you are selling your works. You don't want to paint with paint you know nothing about and then sell your work. You just don't know what's going to happen to this artwork. They will not be used in my regular art practice, but what I might use them for is for just sketchbook work. I thought that I'm going to use them in my Moleskine sketchbook or in my regular sketchbook to have some fun, to play with these color palettes because the colors are really nice. These are more like souvenirs from London that I really wanted to buy. The next thing is this calligraphy brush. They also had a lot of calligraphy brushes and I thought I would give it a try because I've heard many good things about calligraphy brushes. They had some that were really expensive. This one was £10. I picked it because of its hair. I think it will have soft hair and I really like soft brushes. I decided to buy the smaller one, even though for £10 I could buy a bigger one. Also, I have this pencil, Choosing Keeping pencil. It's just a regular HB pencil. There is absolutely nothing special about this pencil. It's just pretty and it's silver. That's the reason I bought it. Then I have these stickers inside this envelope. There are exact same stickers with a bird and it says "with love." As I said, they don't sell these stickers that they use for packing orders or packing your purchases in a store, but they do sell some stickers. So they had ones that said Merry Christmas, I think, something else. So they sell some bird stickers and I really wanted to have some, so I bought these ones. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for. And the last thing is this card. Very cool, fancy Halloween card I bought for my sister. I think it's like a luxury card. They are quite pricey, but I decided to buy one for my sister for Halloween. It's not like we celebrate Halloween or something, but I just thought it was a cool card and I wanted to buy it for my sister. And this is just like a Christmas offer that they've given me. I'm not sure if I'm going to order anything else from them. They have some unusual things, but these are not everyday things. You wouldn't go to the store because you need something. It would be more like because you want to have something special. So it's good for gifts. Choosing Keeping package finally being unwrapped. I was waiting for this moment for a long time. I went to this store more than a week ago. It's been lying first like in my room, in my suitcase, then at home, waiting for me to unwrap it. I really wanted to do it on camera. Finally, this video is becoming super long, so I don't want to make it like a 2 hours video or something. So I am just going to quickly show the books. So the first book, I think I will even do it like this. So these are 2 books, but they are from the same series. I've never seen these books before. I think these are new. They are produced by the Royal Academy of Arts. These are sketchbooks of some artists that I think have some relation to the Royal Academy of Arts. There are a lot more of them than just these 2. I just bought these 2 because I wanted to have this book. So first I bought this one by Norman Aykroyd. He looks like a landscape artist. Has some information about him. So I think he paints Britain. That's why I bought this book, because I like Britain and I like British landscapes. And this was a book bought in a separate visit. This is the book I'm most excited about because it's by an artist who was traveling across the Arctic and Antarctic. And she was doing these sketches, I think, during her travels. And it says here that she was using such materials as volcanic ash. How cool is that? So I just want to see what she produced. She also included some notes. So this is like an expedition sketchbook. So super excited about this one. Seriously, I couldn't miss the opportunity to buy this book. It's so great that the Royal Academy did this series. Another art-related book, Think Like an Artist. I'm not a fan of books like this. I don't usually read books that says like think like artist, productivity, creativity and so on. I mean, I have nothing against these books, but I prefer to read other books. So like I like history books, I like maybe art history books as well. But because it said lead a more creative and productive life, and I also flipped through this book a little bit, and I thought it might be interesting to read it and see if I can get some ideas from it. So this is the first book of this kind that I bought. Another book, not very art related, it's The Swan. If you also know my Instagram, you know I'm a huge fan of swans. It's not the first book about swans that I have, but this one looked really good. I think this person wrote some bestseller book about the wren. It also called a biography, and he decided to write a book about the swan, like about swans. And I'm so happy that he decided to do that because I love swans and I would love to read their biography. So yes, once again, I couldn't miss the chance and I had to buy this book. The very last thing in this bag. These are some things from St. Paul's Cathedral. I'm a huge fan of St. Paul's Cathedral. I love building itself. We included it into many of my cityscapes. I love the view from the top of St. Paul's. I just like this cathedral. So this time I went inside. It's not free, but I paid for the ticket. I went to the viewing galleries, I painted there. I really enjoyed my time at this cathedral and I wanted to have some memory of this visit. So I went to the gift shop and I bought this book that talks about how this cathedral was built. I think it's the perfect thing to buy at St. Paul's gift shop, how the cathedral was built. I think it will be very interesting to read this book. And I bought this card. I'm not going to give it to anyone, like I have no one to give it to. I bought it for myself because it looks so cool. I love this illustration. I don't know. Yes, I think that's the author of this illustration. I think it's amazing. That's it for this art haul and a book haul. I hope it was interesting for you. Let me know if you want to see any swatching of the pencils or of the paints. I'm happy to do that. Thanks for watching. Have a good time and I hope to see you in the next video.